Yeah. Yep. Of course, sorry, let's see the same thing.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Please excuse this voiceover today. I should be back tomorrow. Kody Brown and Robyn Brown were spotted in Flagstaff, and they were out filming outside of a restaurant, the same restaurant that Christine and the wives used to go to when they would have like a luncheon date, the same restaurant where Christine went with her girlfriends to celebrate her divorce. And there's only a few restaurants in Flagstaff that actually allow filming of the family. And this was actually spotted and shared by Danielle, the South Carolina realtor, on her TikTok. She apparently also covers Sister Wives content. And this video that she posted had been circulating all over Facebook, and people had screenshots of it. So I wanted to just talk with you a little bit about what I'm seeing here and follow up on a video I did last week where we were talking about what was going on Aurora's Pinterest. So as you know, season 19 has already wrapped, and so any filming that's currently happening at this time would be for season 20. And because Sister Wives never really stops filming, they get breaks, but not significant breaks. They film for 2 weeks, they get 2 weeks off. They film for 2 weeks and get 2 weeks off. That's kind of how it's been explained by Janelle and McKelty on their Instagrams. So naturally, we know that they're signed until at least season 20. And I think people are always interested in why the family keeps filming, and unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, regardless, they are in a contract. So the clips here, the video, it's Kody, Robyn, Ariella, Breanna, Solomon, and Aurora outside of this restaurant. And the unnaturalness of the whole entire scene of just knowing that they're all dressed up, they're going to be going out to eat, they're doing a scene for a show. The unnaturalness of how dressed up they are, given we literally never see them this dressed up on the show. I was actually trying to think about one of the last times we've seen Robyn in a dress, and I can't remember. She doesn't wear dresses very often. She's usually in pants or jeans and rarely in any sort of dresses. And then now they have them sort of done up and they're looking very innocent and sweet. And I don't know if this is like an intentional trying to make things look like they're so peaceful, they're so innocent. Look at us, we're in our Sunday best, we're filming, we're gonna go have our lunch at this restaurant for the show, we're making content. There has to be some weirdness when you're in a family and your everyday life is like created around content. So it's like, well, what do you want to film today? Well, let's go out to lunch and we'll talk about this, because most of the time everything is sort of discussed ahead of time, and they have to plan with the production companies and they have to schedule ahead to make sure that the restaurant doesn't have any other people there. They might have to like block off all the time so that they can film in there and not disrupt other patrons, which is why you frequently see restaurants completely empty when they're there. Regardless, it struck me as completely odd at how infantilized the girls are, the adult daughters, who are dressed very much like their sister who is 9. And it struck me, considering the fact that last week on Pinterest, Aurora was posting about all these different things about safety issues, feeling depressed, wanting to expose things but not knowing if she can say anything, waiting for the truth to come out, having anxiety and depression, being a good obedient wife, not having a relationship, being single still. A lot of just depression stuff, like feeling trapped, feeling not seen, and feeling like she's got a secret that she can't tell anyone. And I'm looking at 22-year-old Aurora Brown dressed like her 9-year-old sister Ariella, wearing a bow in her hair, like a big ploofy bow, which feels very like Little House on the Prairie / Jojo Siwa / when you are a lady wearing a big bow in your hair, it's kind of weird. I know that some people are into bows right now and they say that it's fashionable, but I just want to be clear. I'm on Instagram all the time, and if you're not following me on Instagram, please do. It's at Without a Crystal Ball. And I never see people wearing bows in their hair. And I follow a lot of influencers. I follow a lot of celebrities. I follow a lot of bigger names and reality stars. And I don't see adult women wearing bows in their hair. Now, wearing a bow in your hair isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's just something that little girls wear. And if you have a baby girl, a lot of children and moms, a lot of mothers put big bows on their baby's head because they're bald and they want everyone to know that they're a girl. I didn't have a daughter, so I didn't have to deal with that. I had a son, and there was I don't know. I guess when you have a boy, you don't have to worry about if people wonder what the sex is, I guess. I don't know. But big bows can be a big thing for babies. And so when I see big bows on adults, I always think of babies wearing bows again. But it struck me as Aurora being stuck in this childlike mindset. And I was like, what the hell is she doing? Why does Robyn have all of her daughters dressed the exact same? Why is a 9-year-old girl dressed like her 22-year-old sister? And by the way that Ariella is dressed is fine for a 9-year-old. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the way that Breanna and Aurora are dressed. They're just dressed like they look like children. And it's very weird to me that grown women are dressed like children out and about. And I did this little Google, and I Googled infantilization, which is this construct in psychology where adult parents, parents of adult children infantilize their adult children. And they do this, and it's often seen in people that have narcissistic personality disorder. And I was like, why are they dressed like children? Well, if, say, Robyn is a narcissist, this is what it says, and this is from Psychology Today. Infantilization of adult children can be a common behavior among parents with narcissistic personality disorder. NPD is a mental health condition characterized by behaviors like a need for admiration and praise, grandiosity and self-importance, a pattern of exploiting others for personal gain, and a strong conviction of being special and unique. There are several types of narcissism which can influence a person's thought processes, emotions, and behavioral patterns in different ways. In the case of infantilization, it often occurs when parents or guardians don't adjust their style of parenting to match the maturity of their child. Cases, parents with NPD see their children as an extension of themselves, and as a result, they may have a deep-seated need for control. Sometimes a parent with NPD may step in and do things that the child can do for themselves, which can stunt the child's mental and emotional development. Those who struggle with NPD disorder have a strong need to be needed and have praise for their efforts, says Kimberly Perlin, a licensed clinical social worker in Townsend, Maryland. One way to ensure that one gets positive feedback from others is to create scenarios where one is needed. They go on to say a parent that has grandiosity for narcissism says a parent with NPD may have grandiose views of themselves and their values. They may have placed extremely high expectations on their child. Due to this grandiose sense of importance, they may expect all others to defer to their needs and wishes. For example, parents with NPD can struggle with having unrealistic expectations of their children even as adults. An example might be expecting an adult married child to spend every holiday with them even though their spouse's family wants to see them. Another would be attention-seeking behavior. So those that struggle with NPD long to have all the attention in social settings or with their loved one's affection. They may struggle sharing their adult child with the adult child's partner. They monopolize the topics of conversation and become miffed quickly if they don't receive their expected fawning. Self-centeredness. They can struggle to interact with others unless the other is catering to their interests. Spend the night telling you about their latest dazzling accomplishment, yet neglect to ask how you're doing. And why do they infantilize? It says having a grandiose sense of self, parents with NPD often have the belief that this is their way is the best way. The defining trait of narcissists is confidence that sometimes becomes arrogance. They're sure that they can do things better than others, and they see it as making sure things get done right. People with NPD want to be more important than other people, sometimes including their own children, and they'll probably want you to excel, but they'll infantilize you so you don't exceed them. So Kody struggles with his adult children once they become adults and have an opinion. And I don't know if Robyn is a narcissist. I mean, obviously, I think she displays traits of it, and definitely has this lack of empathy. And I think sometimes she uses her kids as pawns to get whatever she wants from Kody. And I think Robyn has learned very early that because Kody doesn't like it when his kids grow up and have an opinion, it's been always very important for her to make her kids feel like, appear as though they're needed by him, and appear as though they're dependent upon him, and appear as though they're younger than they are. So an example I can think of with Robyn is allowing Ariella to use a pacifier. I don't know if Ariella still uses a pacifier, but last season she was using a pacifier on the show when she was 7. And now she's 9. I don't know if she still uses it. And that sparked a lot of like, what is she doing? And I immediately was like, she's trying to make Ariella appear younger than she is, because she doesn't want Ariella to grow up, because Kody likes the tender-aged kids and she's not having any more kids. And so she needs to have this appearance in her home that the kids are as very dependent on their dad and need him. Because once they grow up, have an opinion, and want to do with their things themselves, Kody discards people. If you don't agree with Kody, if you don't want to be around Kody, he'll get rid of you. So another thing where, like last season, I saw her infantilizing a child was Aurora, when Kody went and took her to go get her ears pierced. And Aurora acted like a teenage girl, like a young girl, like a tween. Her body language, her posture, even just her communication and what she was saying, she didn't act like someone that was 21 years old in that video or in that clip. She was acting very young. And like Kody was going on and on about how obedient and loyal Aurora is to him, and how much he loves Aurora because she listens to him and does whatever he says. And so Robyn thought it would be a great idea for him to take her to get her ears pierced, like a daddy and daughter bonding moment. And then afterwards, he tells Aurora that he had his ears pierced when he was like in high school. Long story short, that was another example of where I was like, they're making her look younger than she is, because Kody needs someone that will fawn over him, and younger children will fawn over their parents, and then they become teenagers and they develop their own opinions, and then they become more independent and they don't need their parents as much. And so it a lot of times feels like Robyn's just trying to keep the kids younger to keep Kody's interest. It also appears like Robyn does this because she doesn't want to give up control of the kids. She doesn't want them to gain any independence. And I mean, maybe there's something to be said with what that article says, is that some parents that have this narcissistic personality disorder don't want their children to exceed them. And so they will infantilize them to make them, so that they are not better than the parents and they don't outshine the parent. And that's another thing, is like, if you're dressing your adult daughters like they're children, then they're not going to draw attention from men, right? They're not going to have, or a woman, I guess. It just depends on if you like men or women. But they're not going to be perceived as an adult. So they're not going to get hit on if she's worried that Kody might hit on her kids, because that does happen in polygamy, y'all. She might do this to protect them, thinking that like if she keeps them looking young, he won't notice that they're becoming adult women. That's just, I'm just throwing that out there. But it does happen in polygamy, especially with children that are not biologically the father's children, in polygamy all the time. And so there's that aspect. And then there's also this, like, if Robyn values herself as being the pretty one and the trophy wife, she doesn't want her daughters to outshine her. So she's going to have them look and appear younger. Her girls are beautiful. And so it's just really weird to have them dressing like this. So that's my long story short about this tiny little clip from Danielle, the realtor's TikTok, where they're talking about, or where she's showing this video of them filming. So the girls look innocent and sweet. It's supposed to be like a family outing. And I'm really going to be interested how they try to spin this, because Kody's lost all credibility with 75% of his family. And I mean, like, the 3 ex-women and all of the children from those women, 13 kids, 12 living. He's lost all credibility with them. And you don't see him like going out of their way to see each other or see the kids. McKelty's on the outs with him at this point. And so now they're going to try to make it seem like Kody and Robyn are like a family unit now. And then honestly, it's just going to make it look like Kody left everyone to be with Robyn. Like the longer this goes on and if they continue to film, it's just going to reinforce to fans that he bamboozled the audiences, made everyone believe that this was a thing when it wasn't, and that he really did, back in season 1, basically leave the rest of his family so that he could go have his quote-unquote trophy wife. It's very disturbing. But I don't know that Kody's infantilizing the girls. I think Robyn is doing it to benefit Kody and to benefit herself. That's just my opinion. Do you have thoughts? Have you been adult of a narcissistic parent? Were you dressed like you were like younger than you were by your parents? Did they want to keep you in a state of complete adolescence or childhood stature, not allowing you to grow up physically and maturity and growth and like what you viewed as an adult, like in what you wear? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Make sure to leave some comments. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click on the bell so you never miss a video. Bye guys.